When you first met, when you guys first got to know each other as teenagers, did you recognize right away you were kind of kindred spirits?
Well, yeah, but he was freakishly more athletic and taller than I was.
Tracy McGrady, also known as T-Mac, a generational talent compared to the likes of Jordan and Kobe. He's a 2-time scoring champion, 7-time All-Star and 7-time All-NBA, also an MVP contender for many years. He had the stats, the skills, and the superstar status. But until this point, he has no ring. And in the 2003 playoffs, he has his best chance yet. So what happened? We're going to speed past the beginning because it's not really too important here. T-Mac was drafted in 1997 after becoming the #1 ranked high school player that year, and then he declared for the NBA draft. He went number 9 to the Toronto Raptors, but he didn't really see much playing time until his following seasons. The next year, in 1998, the Raptors selected Vince Carter with the 5th pick, who turned out to be T-Mac's cousin. I mean, small world. As the seasons went on, T-Mac eventually got more playing time with Vince, and he became a starter alongside him. But he didn't break out until his 3rd season in the 1999-2000 season, averaging 15 points. Regardless, he wanted out. He wanted to be the guy, the #1 option, and not behind his cousin Vince. In a shocking sign-in trade, leaving his cousin in Toronto, he ended up playing for the Orlando Magic. And he did not disappoint. He broke out again, but this time for real. He averaged 26 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds, which is absurd. This is essentially James Harden going from the Thunder straight to the Rockets. It's that level of a leap, and then some. Anyway, he's finally the guy on his own team, for better or for worse, because his team sucked. He played with Grant Hill for a little bit, but it was only 46 games over the course of multiple seasons because Grant was always injured. So he's not really a factor here. Regardless, T-Mac won Most Improved Player that season, but that doesn't really matter. It's the playoffs that do. And he got swept by Milwaukee, but hey, that's okay. That's fine. They're still next season. And then he got swept by the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, not ideal. But he also got swept in Toronto when he played with Vince. So for 3 straight years in the first round, he got swept. But this season is different.
One of the nominees for, MVP. I'm not really caught up into all that. I'm trying to get my team on track to get to the playoffs and then make some things happen in the playoffs.
He'll go again for 3.
It's the 2002-2003 season, and the league is a lot different than it is now. For starters, Seattle still had their basketball team, and LeBron James is in his senior year of high school. That's all you gotta know. T-Mac had the best season of his career, averaging 32 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. These are crazy numbers, and he was the scoring champ for his 2nd year in a row. The end of the season rolls around and he pulls his Magic roster to a 42-40 record, which is good enough for 8th in the Eastern Conference. But now, T-Mac has to upset the #1 team in the East. Obviously, the expectations weren't very high, but given that it was an 8-game difference between the 1 and 8 seed, things could always happen. There's no LeBron, the Celtics are a 6 seed, and there's no super teams out east. So if T-Mac were to make a move in the playoffs, now is the time. Even though he is an 8th seed, the Knicks did the same thing in the 98-99 lockout season. And T-Mac is ready for the challenge.
McGrady just blew past Robinson. McGrady to transit in a foot race. He'll take it all the way. Phillips trying to take McGrady. McGrady switches in as
He was unstoppable, scoring after a slow start to the game, having 38 points with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter. However, the game was still close despite his scoring efforts, and it came down to free throws.
jumping with Hamilton, but it's going to be Cliff Robinson's man. McGrady blows to the baseline, and Robinson stays with him, and the foul is going to be called. Cliff did not agree with that call. It's a three-point game.
And then they steal game one. Just like that, the 8th seed stole home court advantage in game one. He ended up with 43 points to end the game. In game two, went similarly. That boy T-Mac went crazy. It's the 2000s, so the game scores are usually low, but that does not apply to T-Mac whatsoever. The Pistons had absolutely no answer for him. He was draining jumper after jumper after jumper. Despite his scoring flurries though, they were still down 15 in the fourth quarter. But T-Mac kept them within reach until a late 3 in the game secured it for the Pistons. I mean, come on, the Magic got out of shape Kemp out here, and it was literally his last season in the NBA. This is why T-Mac had to go for 46 this game. Yeah, he had 46. Now the series is tied at 1 apiece. In game 3, the Pistons tried a lot to contain him. They fronted him, doubled, played one-on-one coverage, nothing really worked. He still got 29 and led his team to another win. And here we are. The Orlando Magic are now leading 2-1 against the 1 seed. But the next game might be the most important game of T-Mac's career. If the Magic win game 4, they'll take a commanding 3-1 lead and prepare for the second round. The first time in T-Mac's career. But if the Pistons win, then it's anybody's series. This game was less than spectacular, but T-Mac led the Magic to a 3-1 lead. And he was happy with it. But there was one problem. T-Mac was starting to cool down, shooting 37% from the field and 22% from 3. Whatever the Pistons were doing, it was almost working. This is a problem. The Magic have a chance to close it out in Detroit and make it to the second round in a Cinderella run. But they got destroyed. The Pistons defense was too much, beating them by 31 points. T-Mac had 19 on horrific efficiency, while multiple players on the Pistons had it going. This is fine though, because there's still game 6 for the Magic to close it out. But they did not, losing by 15 from a 40 bomb by Chauncey Billups and a 20-point, 17 rebound game from Ben Wallace. T-Mac tried to will his team to the win with 37, but the efficiency was so bad and his team just wasn't showing up. This is T-Mac's last chance. And now we're here, game 7 of the first round 1v8. Nobody could have expected this. Most first round series versus 1-8 are sweeps or maybe 5 games. A 7-game series is pretty rare. Everybody loves these. Everyone's on edge. The players, coaches, the fans. This is pure love for the game. If there is a time for T-Mac to shine, it is now. To prove he can be a leader, to make a run to the finals and hang with the likes of Allen Iverson, Kobe, Michael Jordan, etc. This is the time to prove himself.
Tracy McGrady fights for the shot, missed it off glass. Here comes Orlando. Pistons have now doubled him up. McGrady with a turn and gun. Tayshaun with 8. Skying and gunning on the other end.
New rule this year.
McGrady. Driving is McGrady. Memo with the rebound.
And now the fans can relax a little bit more.
Just like that, the Magic Cinderella story is over, losing in 7 to the Pistons. Chauncey had another phenomenal game, dropping 37. And it's weird because T-Mac just lost his sauce for 3 straight games. Why did this efficiency drop so much? Because of the new defensive rookie Tayshaun Prince. Halfway through the series, they put him onto T-Mac and their defense was way more effective against him. And he also helped their offense, scoring 20 points in one of the games in the series. He was really the X factor for them coming back, along with Chauncey's scoring outbursts. And it also doesn't help that the Magic were coached by Doc Rivers. So I guess that explains it. And unfortunately, this is only the beginning of their misfortune. The next season, they won opening night against the Knicks. Good way to start off the season. Except they lost the next 19 games straight. And then they missed the playoffs for the following 3 seasons. And because of all this, T-Mac would leave after the 2004-2005 season, and he ended up signing an extension with the Houston Rockets, never making it out the first round before the injuries piled up. All right, I appreciate everyone that watched this video to the end. What is this, my 3rd video of this channel? So go ahead, leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm eventually gonna experiment with more content, so hope to see y'all there.